Hi guys, I'm Uncle Richie.
Yo, what up? J Money's back.
And this is C10. And you're listening to the Uncle's Podcast.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining in on episode 71. This week I'm joined by Trevor Exton, a former Papua New Guinea Kumul. Guys, we've got another Kumul. The last one we had on was Richard Pandia, and I'm really excited to have Trevor in today. Trevor, how are you, bro?
Great. Just happy to be a part of your awesome show. Obviously, been watching from the start. I don't know if I'm number one supporter, but I'm definitely top five. So,
yeah. No, big thank you, bro, because we see, we follow you as well, and we're actually all three of us are big fans of watching you come through and play for the PNG Kumuls. I remember being a young kid back home in Morocco, just watching you guys play at the 2008 Rugby League World Cup, seeing you take some of those tough carries. Really wanted me to be a Kumul as well. I had dreams and aspirations, and I'm sure many people out there did as well. So it's amazing to sit down here and speak with you. But before we get started, before we get into everything, Trevor Exton, I thought we'd pick up where we left off with our word of the week. It is something that Jackman started a couple episodes back, and we've fallen off a bit. But I just want to bring it back and ask you, bro, what's your word of the week?
my word of the week is enthusiasm. That obviously, when you asked me that question just then, I think enthusiasm's been there my whole life. Whatever I've liked, I've always had enthusiasm, like to play rugby league at any level. Doesn't matter, whatever level. Even when I started, it was always enthusiasm. That's what gets you, anywhere in life, as well as footy. So I think I just had a weekend at Turf Games, which is like a big sort of fitness comp, and like enthusiasm there. Like everyone's enthused and cheering for everyone else and stuff like that. So, enthusiasm.
Love that word. Yeah, I love that word. Well, let's get into it, because I know we've got a lot to talk about, and I think we will be talking about a lot. But let's start off with where were you born and raised?
Yep. I was born in Brisbane. My mum is she was born in Rabaul, but grew up in Kavieng, lovely part of the world.
Oh yes.
Okay? And then my dad was born in Moresby, and spent most of his life there till obviously they both moved down to Australia. And pretty much I've spent most of my life, like childhood, in Brisbane, in the Logan area, like Marsden. I spent 2 years over in PNG with my grandparents. Like, took me back. My grandfather, Akung, he worked in the mines there, so we spent 2 years up in Bougainville when I was 3.
Wow.
I don't have too many memories, but I do remember going to like preschool there.
Yeah.
And he actually passed away up there, and then we ended up moving to Kavieng where he's buried. So I spent a little bit of time in the village there, Mungai, right next to the water, swimming in the water every day.
So nice. Yeah, that would have been a nice, easy life, because look, I think about my childhood in PNG. At that time too, not really many phones getting around like these days. Every kid sort of has a phone, whereas back then you just your toys, whatever you find on the street, whether it's a stick, a stone, or playing with a plastic bottle, playing rugby league with your mates. So what was some of the childhood memories for you?
For me, obviously I didn't have like too many back when I was in PNG, but it just pretty much I liked martial arts. I've always karate kid on the beach and practicing being like Bruce Lee and that. But when I moved back to Australia, like my childhood memories were I'm the oldest boy on my dad's side of my family, so pretty much school holidays were at my booby's house, like in the front yard with all the rest of my cousins and that every holidays, because obviously no one really paid for childcare back then. It was always go to the grandparents' place, and like those were my like school holidays. My best like childhood memories with my cousins playing. Sometimes we'd get into trouble. So obviously, you know what happens when you get in trouble. If one gets in trouble, everyone cops it. Oldest one first, because
That's it.
so like there's stuff like that. Like even growing up in Australia, like it's pretty much you jump in your push bike, you ride just as long as you were home before dark. Yeah. That was the main sort of thing now, which is a lot changed since then. But my childhood growing up in that Marsden and Logan area, school holidays with my cousins and yeah, just riding around, playing footy, all sorts of sports and stuff like that. So it was I look back on it now with fond memories and probably half the things I've probably forgotten.
Yeah. And I heard you mention Marsden there. So where did you go to primary school and then high school?
Yeah, I went to Marsden Primary.
Yep.
And then from there I went to like Marsden High.
Yeah. Okay. And when you were there, is that where you started playing league? Is that where you found?
Yeah, I did.
Love for league?
Yep. Like my dad played just local footy, so I was always around that, and mum played touch footy, so it was always, and then like my aunties and that, her sisters and that were all fairly sporty, so I was always around sport, or going to competitions and stuff like that growing up as a kid. So I started playing footy in grade 6 at school. My fondest memory of that is I scored 3 tries in my first game. So yeah, probably because I didn't really know how to pass the ball. So
just run hard and straight.
That's it. So so I played grade 6, and then played grade 7. In grade 7, I got the opportunity to play at Lane Park it was the Brisbane Primary School final. So from that, like it was like a shock to the system. Like playing somewhere that big at a young age, and then from there I went to Marsden High.
Because you would have been under 12s, 11s?
Yeah, 12s. Yeah, 12s.
Yeah, under 12s, year 7. Yeah, so that would have been big. Lang Park, Brisbane Broncos home stadium back then.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. And would you say that's where you found the love for rugby league, or did that come later on?
The love for rugby league was probably from the start. I watched my first grand final in 1989. It was Canberra versus Balmain Tigers.
Wow.
And then obviously they won, so that was my favourite team growing up. And during that period of time, they were awesome. That Mal Meninga, Bradley Clyde, Ricky Stewart, Laurie Daly, Gary Belcher, Steve Walters,
legends.
I was a massive footy head from the start. I had all the cards. I knew their weights, heights. Like I knew everything about every single team. Like I probably still fairly good now at most teams, but like back then I knew 1 to 17 who they were, or 1 to 19, or who they were, where they come from, what state they played for, and that sort of carried on through the whole thing. So, I didn't really think about it as love, but when you ask certain questions like that, that's love. If you know everything about it,
yeah. Oh, I'd say that's definitely love, because I think I look back and I was a big soccer fan when I was growing up in PNG, and same thing. Like I knew every team, every player, even the transfer windows. Like when stuff would come, he's going to this team and he's going to that team, and I would say that's definitely love, because you're actually passionate about the game and you're so into it. You don't even know it, but it just comes off as something that's like enjoyable. So no, that's great to hear. And when did you because at Marsden, did you play any sort of rep teams? Were you in?
At that stage, they didn't have. They weren't a rugby league school that they are now. Marsden's like a powerhouse now. So I think a few years after us, when I was in grade 12, they started the rugby league program, because Cameron Smith was like two years younger than two grades younger than me.
Yeah.
So I think the other started when he was in grade 12, or as he left school. So
Yeah.
I think I started playing club at 13. I don't think I made my first schoolboy like regional like Med East side till I was 15 off memory.
Yeah.
But I definitely made it in the opens. I definitely made Med East in the opens there. So, but yeah, like I never made like a Queensland side or anything like that. But yeah, I just pretty much it was just club footy for Logan Brothers, and then played school footy. But school footy wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah. And so back then, what position were you playing?
I was sort of versatile.
Yeah.
Obviously in grade 6,
Yeah.
I played on the wing.
Yeah.
Probably just because I've never played before.
Yeah.
Grade 7, I think I was centre and I went back to fullback. Under 13, probably 13 through to 15, I was sort of second row centre. And coming into like 16 and 17s, when footy starts to get a bit important, like played fullback, second row. Even in 17s, I played front row. So but it's just because I was I had like a reunion because we won the grand final in under 17s, and we had like a little reunion like a few years back, like a 20-year one.
Yeah.
And not a 20-year. Oh, sorry, even more longer than that. Sorry, bro. But yeah, I asked my coach, said, "How come you moved me into the front rows?" He goes, "You're always there, and you just wanted to run the ball, so why not?"
fair enough.
But yeah, no, I've always wanted to. That's probably one of my strengths, just running the ball, and then the enthusiasm again always pops up. So always there. So why not? I think that helps with being versatile to play different positions, But it's. If you're on the field, you just got to compete. That's the main sort of thing, and that's what I think I had.
And I'll go back a bit there, but when did you at what age did you say, you know what, I might give this a red hot crack, like I think I'm good at rugby league again? Or that didn't happen?
I don't. To be honest, that didn't happen till like later on, because it's your life and it's just something you do.
Yeah.
Something that you do. Like I never saw myself as being a superstar and really good. I just played. I just played in a really good club side that were like super talented, and I just thought I'd just do my part. And even school footy as well. I was just like a sports captain, but it's just, I think that's one of those things that I just thought you do. I was picked to do it, so that's the job you do, and just a simple thing like that. So I don't really take it. It wasn't, I was, from a young age, I've always loved fitness and sort of training. So I went hand in hand. Like I didn't have to. It wasn't a stretch for me to do anything. I didn't have to make a choice. It was just like that's something that I did to help me. But yeah, I didn't really make that choice till later on when I really thought about when I started obviously venturing into like senior grade footy. That's when I understood what I need to do to play at that level.
So we talked a bit about there of just working your way in at club level. I guess getting used to footy. You went very into your fitness and really just going with the flow, doing what you always knew you could. But I know you've played about 160, 170 Queensland Cup games, and how did that sort of pathway start for you?
Obviously, in the last year of school, when I think we made the quarterfinals of the state or semi-finals of the state, we played like a regional final at Wynnum. Cougar Oval, so we won. I played pretty well, and they wanted to speak to me after the game, because I had I watched the NRL or ARL footy back then.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about Queensland Cup or State League or anything like that. Like I was just naive to everything. So yeah, they wanted to speak to me, but I didn't end up speaking to them because I can't remember. I ended up leaving straight after the game. I had something on.
Yeah.
But after the grand final that year was at the Wynnum Juniors, which is just up the road.
Yeah.
We ended up winning the grand final. I scored 2 tries, so I suppose I played it right. I suppose I played it right. And then they got in contact with a mate of mine's dad, like another player there, Les Skeen. He was a hooker. He was good too, so they spoke to me and him about coming over and trialling out for Colts, which is under 19s. So we ended up doing a pre-season there. And then that was at Wynnum. We made the team. And then just from there on 19s, we, as I said previously, I played front row for the last 7 weeks of the season. So, but Wynnum at that stage had too many forwards, so I played fullback.
Wow.
But it was just probably the fullbacks how they run now, like the meterage was how I was doing it. I was pretty much like an extra forward, like coming off the back.
Yeah.
And after I think 4 games, I got put on the bench after my game for the reserve grade.
Yeah.
The reserve grade coach took a liking to me. So I think for the next 3 games after that, I was playing a full game of Colts, and then I'd play reserve grade.
Far out.
And then 1 week, I can't remember, it might have been 9 or 10 games in the season. The reserve grade fullback, he got injured.
Yeah.
And then I think he was going to go up and play cup that following week, and then I got the call up. My first grade debut, my Queensland Cup debut was against South. I think we ended up losing by 2 points, I think.
Did you play? Were you at fullback for that game?
I could put me on the fullback. I can't come with the bench. Played fullback. Don't get me wrong. I was excited, but I was scared.
Yeah.
My first touch of the ball, I set up a try.
Yeah.
I think it was lucky at that stage, in that sort of the part. And I got the boys gave me the players player mug after the thing. So obviously they probably wouldn't do it now, but the mug the mug you get, you don't pay for a drink. So I wasn't
drinks.
I wasn't really old enough to drink by that stage legally, but obviously I didn't drink. But no, that was my first grade debut in that, and I think I went on to finish. I think I played another 8 games after that. At fullback, I think I played 5'8" as well, and centre. The coach at the time, Peter Sinclair, I think. Yeah, Peter Sinclair. He just pretty much told me just to play. Yeah. And the older players there were they were experienced hardheads as well, and they looked after me. They just told me just to play, just do what you do. So that gave me a lot of confidence to play. But man, I was scared.
Yeah.
every game I was sort of scared. It's I don't know. It was just sort of your first game's driving down a highway, pulling up the car and jumping out and trying to dodge the cars in the air. So
no seatbelt.
yeah.
Full speed, no brakes. Yeah. Oh, and you were only 17, 18.
Yeah. My birthday's in November.
Yeah.
So I didn't turn 18 till after the season. After the season finished. So, obviously you shouldn't do this now, but the boys used to on a Saturday night game used to take me out with them. And obviously, you don't really didn't need ID back in those days. Take me out with them, and they'd tell my mum, "Oh, hey, Mrs. Exton, we'll pay for your son's cab home." So I sort of learnt, obviously, the toughness and the skill side of rugby league, and then obviously the off-field stuff. The camaraderie, and you celebrate your wins. You celebrate a loss. It's I learned both sides of the defense of the sport.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said before, you've played a lot of games, and I'm sure there are lots of younger listeners out there that are listening in or tuning into this episode. But what were some of the important things, or what allowed you to go from there and then string a couple seasons together, a few games? Like, what were the really important things for you that allowed you to get that many games up?
I think it's like confidence and training. I've always been a really good trainer. Like regardless of what I done off the field, like my the recovery in that sort of sense wasn't thought of back then. So I wouldn't do this now, but like you could go out for a night out, but you had to earn it. The next day, you rock up to training and you just train hard. I've always had that ability to push, understanding. But yeah, just confidence, discipline. If you know you can't do something and then play to the best of your ability, don't do it. Risk and reward. And also, if you're saying no as well, being okay with saying no. My main thing when I started at Wynnum, most of my friends that I hang out with played local footy on the Saturday afternoons, and I'd play on a Sunday, and there was and I'd go watch them play, but it was very hard for me to say no to not having a couple of drinks. But that's when I knew just to stay home. I didn't go, didn't leave the house because I knew that I couldn't say no. Like it's like, oh Trevor, you want to go out and have a bit, because that's what all that they were doing, which sort of alienates you a bit. But you got to know if that's your goal to play Queensland Cup, to play NRL, to play overseas, to play for the Kumuls or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be sport or work. If you got a goal there, you'd be willing to make the sacrifices to saying no to things to get there. Yeah,
I think that's really important, because I look at when I was coming through a bit younger, I was definitely that yes man. Whenever my friends call me up or see some friends at the footy field and they say they're having 1-2 drinks here there, man, you could twist my arm so easily, and
and it doesn't stop at 1 or 2.
And then next thing you know, you wake up the next day and you're just not in a good state, which is probably one of the biggest regrets I have is not being able to, like you said, back it up the next day and actually, whether it's a little thing like stretching or at least getting some sort of exercise in, whether it's a walk, not being able to do those things, mainly because I just didn't prioritize it. So looking back, if there's anything that you listeners take out of that is, definitely putting in the work and actually prioritizing your training. I think that's really important, and I love that you shared that.
Yeah, but it's also a thing where, obviously when you're growing up and even back further than that, it wasn't a thing about recovery and mobility, where it's right in your face now.
Yeah,
everyone's doing it, so all the information's there. You just got to do it. Take the action to do it.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's really important. So going off of Q Cup, let's dive into how you got the opportunity with the Kumuls. Did you get a call? Did someone reach out to you? What happened there?
No, in 2003, I was still playing for Wynnum at that stage. I had Amelia and Duncan. Now we were playing for Wynnum. And they were Kumuls. They played the 2000 World Cup, and obviously they knew I came from PNG. I've got that heritage, and they end up. Bob Bennett was the coach back then, and they gave Bob a call, or send a smoke signal, or whatever you sort of did back then to find Bob. Just informed him, and I got to start. We used to play the PM's 13 used to play the Junioroos up in Darwin back in those days. Yeah. So I got to start in that. So that's where I met most of some of the players that come through, and I did. That's where I first met them. Like your Steve Franciscus, there's your Rod Griffin, who was like 16 and built like a man. Yeah. Billy Sagiaro, he was playing then. Kevy Pryor. There was who else was there? There's a few other lads that like slip my memory, but that was my first experience wearing the PNG jersey. So as another thing, like that was just a thing, just a thing I did. Like I didn't. It doesn't dawn on me how important that was till like my time now. Thinking about it. So that's where it started. And then it sort of just carried on from there. I made it. Then the next year we played the PM's 13 again.
Yep.
2004. Was it 2005? 2004. We went to Townsville and played the PM game versus the Junioroos, and I think how the PMs play their like reserve straight there. That year they had like a mixed side. Had Sammy Thaiday playing for them. So he played the year before as well. Yeah. But that's the first time I played with Stanley Guinea.
Yeah.
So like for me, like because I was a big fan of the Super League as well, and man, he was a legend over there. So I actually ran with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So man, funny.
Here we go.
Yeah, so no, it was funny. Like those, it wasn't the games that I most enjoyed. It was off the field, your roommate, like getting around all the boys, singing the songs.
Yeah.
Training, laughing. It's normally whatever the week or the camp was, length of camp was, the week or the 2 weeks. Mate, it was awesome.
That's I guess that's the insight. I guess everyone like wants to hear. I did have another question that C10 threw me this afternoon. He did ask, what was that? So that first game up in Darwin, what was the feeling like? Putting on the jersey for the first time. For yourself, was it a bit emotional, or was it sort of you just didn't really know what was happening at that time?
To be honest, I didn't really know what was happening at the time. But to answer C10's question properly, I didn't know the pride and the feeling till I played the PM's game in 2005.
Okay.
Up there, that was my first time going back home.
Yeah.
For 20 odd years. And then we spent 2 weeks at the Bamana Police Barracks. Yeah. So it was, I think the only international boys that come up there was me, Paul Ayton, and Keith Peters. That was the first time I met Paulie, because I met Keith the year before.
Yeah.
That game, like just everything, like going back home, even though I spent most of my life in Australia, like. As soon as you get off that plane and put your barefoot foot on the ground, that's home.
You're home now, yeah.
Even though you wouldn't put your foot on the ground for that long because you burn your foot. Yeah. No, that was that's just one story that I will like. It still gives me goosebumps now. Like the old PRL field, 100% the best field to play at.
Yeah.
Ever. So. Generally, you don't use a dresser set, so we were at the it wasn't at Airways, it was the other hotel there. I can't remember the name of it, but we get dressed there and we jump on the bus. So the bus takes you in, and then I can't remember the street names, but like you come down the main road and you turn right, and then that main street, there's say maybe about 800 metres from that corner all the way to where the PRL was.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any sort of police escort, nothing. So we're coming through, and then the people start seeing. So all of a sudden, probably maybe about 600 metres out, the bus is just going putt, putt, and the people are banging the bus. PNG, banging on the bus that hard. It was shaking, and man, holy, it was the most amazing experience I've ever gotten in my entire life. That's when I felt the pride. Like my blood just started. Like, man, I was like crying. I was that excited. Because before getting on the bus, like a couple of other boys told me, goes, when you run out on that field, you won't feel anything like it ever. So you start off with that, then you get into get into the stadium. Like, if you ever see pictures of the old PRL, it's probably a ground where you can fit probably 1,000, and they probably fit like 3,000 in there on the roofs of the stadium, the trees around the field. That's Papua New Guinea rugby league at its best. And like there was like you warm up, and then like those people like pressed up against the 10-foot barbed wire fence and like pushing up in there, and they're just loving everything you do. And then like that was my favourite experience. I mean, that's what playing for the Kumuls meant to me in that sort of 20-minute period that it took. Like I knew what war was all about then, and that was my welcome home.
Oh, yeah, that's so amazing, and like you just summed it up, like the passion PNG people have for rugby league. It's something else, and you got that firsthand. That game you played, and it's so funny you saying the old PRL, because I have lots of young memories of watching the games there, and because everyone wants to get in. There's so much going on outside. There's police trying to stop people from coming in, and all they want to do is just watch the Kumuls play the Kangaroos. So, lots of golden memories there.
I will tell you a funny story about the first time of straight after the game. Obviously, just stormed the field, and then I'm giving away. I'm keeping all the rest of my gear. I'm giving my boots and my socks away, and walking around. And the little kid goes, "Hey, Trevor, how you going? Can I get my socks? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, here's my socks. Here's my boots as well." And the policeman chasing away with a stick, hits him with whatever they hit him with, and like he swung at him, missed him, and then the kid ran up the barbed wire fence with no hands. I went, holy man, he was fast, eh? He went straight like that, straight over and going, But the funnier part, he had one boot and one sock, and by the time I got around halfway outside the field, he'd come back around again to get the other boot and sock.
Oh man, some of those people are funny. When a copper starts to chase them, they can do anything. They're just,
that's when I knew it was possible to do it.
Yeah, give him a Kumuls jersey. Yeah, but moving on from that, that was I can't get over that. That's awesome just to hear that. But moving on, Rugby League World Cup, and I spoke to you about this before we went live, but I was just looking at the squad today. Johnny Wilshire at the back, Stanley Gene, Paul Ayton, who's Hunter's coach now, yourself, Jesse Joe Parker, like lots of big
Menzieri.
Menzi,
hey.
Jukebox,
hey. Charlie Wabo,
like man, that 2000 Rugby League World Cup was. I followed that so closely, and those are some of Kumul household names, and names that I think lots of our viewers and lots of Papua New Guineans themselves know, because that was a really good World Cup and a really good squad. So yeah, like talk us through that. So going off the PM's 13, what happened when they named the squad? Were you informed? And how was the tournament?
Yeah, like straight after the obviously, I'll go back to like to the lead up years. So after 2005, I think Bob sort of stepped aside and Adrian Lamb got the job in 2007. So I don't know whether he came up with the idea. I think it might have been him or someone, but they had the like an Origin game. So you had you had international players versus like the best of the PNG based players. So we got was that 39, probably about 40 players of the best you can rustle up, and we all trained together for 2 weeks. So for the first week we were all together, and the second week we split up in the teams, and then we trained, and then we played those games. So like 2007, I think it went for 3 years. Well, I think Lemmy was coached for 4 years, I think, or 3 years, including the World Cup year. But those games for me were the best. Were the best games, the games that I cherish most. Even though wearing the Kumul jersey was a proud moment for me, but not only my family, but for those selection games were the best for me. Like I'm really big with respect, and like I don't know, maybe reading it too much, but I know like if someone say like the boys from back home, they don't come from much. Or like most of them don't, and then they see someone like me who's grew up in Australia, they see that as privilege. So I sort of took that in a certain way, and as I do, like as a chip. So righto, if you think you're tougher than me, then let's go. Yeah. So I think I played pretty well in those games because I always got picked. So
but I think that's a fair comment, because I had Amelia Cook on, who she played for the Kangaroos and Orchids, and she said the same thing when she had to go into camp. She was called in for the Rugby League Women's World Cup, and she sort of had to prove herself because she had pledged allegiance to the Kangaroos, the women's team beforehand, and there were lots of a lot of women in the PNG team had their own sort of perceptions of who she was as a person. She had to go into camp and basically say, no, you guys have got it wrong. I'm from PNG and this is my country as well, and I want to play with you guys. I don't want to steal anyone's position. I'm here to
to earn it.
To earn it, basically. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're right. I totally understand. I sort of think a lot of PNG athletes that go overseas and that all are have the blood, but live in a certain country outside PNG that they would have that stigma. They're not as tough, not as good. But I think that those selection games that I played in leading into that World Cup was the fairest and the best way to select our national side, because it brought everyone together.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Like, man, did you ever get the opportunity to watch any?
Yeah,
those games.
I would always look forward to those games because they were going to be fun.
That war.
Because you could. It was the easiest and quickest way to find out who actually wanted to play the Kumuls jersey, who wanted to put the Kumuls jersey on, and I think they should bring it back. But I don't know if they still have numbers to make a team.
I reckon they would. There's a lot of young like high quality players playing like PNG Bud playing in the junior levels now.
Yeah.
Like I think that they could bring it back. Yeah. But actually, a funny story from that game. On the refereeing standpoint, like James Nightingale, who played at Penrith in the lower grades, and he comes through. He took the ball up. Charlie Wabo, legend, Digicel Cup player, and in Kumul, picked him up, speed tackled him. Penalty, high tackle.
Play on.
Oh, I tackled. Oh yeah, but it was the best speed tackle I've ever seen.
Oh,
the best. Like it did.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like driving a star picket in the ground.
Yeah, that was.
Not he was all right. It was right. Like he rolled out of it, but yeah, just stuff like that. That always sticks in my memory. It was funny as.
That was the welcome to PNG.
But yeah, no, that as I said, like those selection games were my favourite because I earn respect, but it brought the team together as well. Like you ask any PNG based player of that era, and they'll probably say exactly the same thing because I'm pretty close with still with them now. Like a few of them can't come down. I think the start of the year I got doing the senior coaching course, level 2 coaching.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, like I caught up with a few of them there, man. It was still like nothing sort of changed, and we all still have the same views on how what will make the Kumuls better as a team, because I think we're made for rugby league, but it just hasn't been developed properly as of yet.
Yeah. Let's go into that because I'm interested to get your perspective, mainly from like the PNG NRL bid standpoint. That sort of does tie in with the Kumuls as well. What's your views on that as a former Kumul?
For me, I think I think it's a great opportunity with their NRL there, but there's still a lot of the money needs to be pumped into the grassroots as a coaching aspect, and like the because I know that the schoolboy comps getting more organised and stuff like that. That needs to be like developed a lot more, because then you're going to have like just a production line of players coming through then without having to like buy. So how when a new side comes in, they sort of buy buy side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the perfect example is the Dolphins. They made their side really good by buying experienced sort of players. But I don't know the dynamic how that would work.
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity for our young people back at home. Obviously with the Hunters going well now. Paulie's done he's done an awesome job. Sort of brought back our strengths.
Yeah.
Because my opinion, the last few years we've sort of gone, nothing against the coaches and anything like that, but I mean we've tried to go too far to the Australian way of playing, like the wrestle. Yeah. Whereas, you know what we can do. You
run hard, tackle.
You run it straight. You're going to get some medicine, eh? So I mean, it's. I've watched the Hunters, a lot this season, and they've sort of gone back to that, and sort of like they've got a good mix of the ad lib style, but still completing sets. You know what I mean? They're still relying on their natural flair, but doing it in the right positions on the field. But obviously, they've sort of got a whole new side now. So from last year, so and Paul's done a sensational job.
Yeah, he looks like he's forming a really, really nice team, and they got lots of young boys too, by the looks of it. Did you watch the game on the weekend? What was your thoughts on the final?
I just think they were unlucky in certain aspects. Like Norse is a good sort of side, and then like the scoreline indicated it was obviously an attacking game. But like Norse, you have to score 40 points to beat the Hunters. Yeah. And they just got the bounce of the ball, and like I think the Hunters made a few crucial errors in that to swing the momentum back, because they were sort of that North would get out and they'd come back, and then we'd, instead of scoring that try, I reckon that score try to come even, then we'll roll over top of them. They were sort of always chasing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It was close in there. I reckon that little phase after half time when I think it was the centre who ran away with the try.
Yeah.
And then when North scored after that, it was just like, if we had scored one more, it's like bang, Hunters are in now. But I watched their other game against the Sunny Coast Falcons, and I was like, yeah, that's the Hunters of old.
Like once you get them going, like you just need that. If as I said, like if they would have pulled even there, man, we would have started flying then.
Yeah. It would have been game over for them. Well, let's go into. I guess I wanted to touch on who are some of the, or even top 1, 2, 3 players that you don the jersey with, if there are any, or it doesn't have to be in order as well.
Like anyone in general, or like PNG, or
anyone in general.
Okay.
Really.
For me, like I play a lot of footy with Menzieri. Like he went to England with me after the World Cup, and man, he's a legend over there. But yeah, he was very, very close to me as well, man, and he was a star from the start. I just remember another story when you speak about Menzie in 2005 when I played that game. He was in the squad, but he had had surgery on his knee. But I didn't know nothing about Menzie, so. When we ran on the field, the whole crowd's going, Menzie, man. I'm going, holy. And then straight after we finished playing, and like I asked one of the managers, said, Menzie's, I'll take it, Menzie's good. And he goes, yeah, he's the player of the year. He's been playing here for two years and stuff like that. And then when I seen him play, holy, man, he has to play fullback. Imagine breaking the line. Imagine breaking the line.
Lights out. Lights out.
Actually, here's another little story. Tommy O'Reilly, he played for the Kumuls as well. Yeah. He played in that first internationals game. Oh, Marcus Boyd did as well.
Oh,
Marcus Boyd played in the first 2007, like the international versus Origin thing. So Marcus Boyd, they brought a couple of legends back. Jeez. And Tommy, during the game, Tommy broke the line. Menzies playing fullback, like. He passed it. We scored the try, man. He copped. I thought he was dead. Lucky Tommy's tough, and he got up and he pretty much said like he's never been hit like that before.
That's the jukebox.
Like Menzie for me is he's head and shoulders like, man, like doesn't really unorthodox sort of running style, but fast.
Yeah.
Man, he could hit with both shoulders and his head.
Yeah.
But we all can do that. Him definitely Stanley Guinea.
Yeah.
Like watching him over in the Super League and just the stuff that he could do on the field, and he had that ultimate confidence. That he was better, tougher than everyone else, but his style was really unorthodox.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, like he used to, you spin pass.
Yeah.
So he'd spin pass one way, and then he'd backspin the other way.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean,
the opposite. Yeah.
But for the other side, but like a bullet. Like direct. Like
really good.
It wouldn't even wobble, nothing. Yeah. So, Stanley's there. And for me, he didn't. He's one of my best mates. I play a lot of footy with this guy, Steve Franciscus. Like he didn't get as much time with the Kumuls, but him as a player around like Brisbane, Queensland Cup League, like man, he just didn't miss his window to play NRL. Like man, he was a absolute talent, and he's still running around now. He's a bit of a legend out in Toowoomba Rugby League out there, playing out at Dolby at the ripe old age of 42, still killing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those three players spring to mind. They're the most for me, but there's still like a whole host that that I could name, and they're still up there.
Yeah. And you mentioned you went over to the UK with Menzie there. What was that experience like?
Well, like the experience, I didn't really obviously. Little moment, and it really dawned on me how far I was away from home.
Yeah.
You know when you're on the plane and you see like the world map and you see like the dot and like the plane. So I'm there like the back end of the leg of a 26-hour flight. I'm sitting down. Oh yeah, I'm nearly at the nearly in England, nearly at Manchester Airport. So I'm just sitting there going, oh yeah. And you see the plane, United Kingdom, and the plane's over here, and then you see Australia. And in that moment, I'm going, I can't just, hey, Mum, can you just send me $50, please? or Mum, can you just put some rice on so I can just pop over?
No, that's it now. You're on your own.
No, it was an awesome experience over there just to see. I really enjoyed my time there. That's probably one of my biggest regrets, not staying for longer. But like, man, the experience there was awesome to do. I had my son there. My son was born in Sheffield, so yeah, he's 14 now. So obviously, do the math. I'm pretty old. So, but no, it was a great experience there. Yeah, just the football. Obviously, learning how to play in the cold. That's the first time I've seen the snow. So
yeah, well, I haven't even seen the snow yet, so I got to do that too.
Yeah, so no, it was a pretty good experiencing like the full fanatical soccer as well. Like the football over there was the support over there for every sport. They got songs for everyone, and even it sort of carries over everything. They're fanatical. Like you go to the darts, man, they're carrying on going on the darts. Like the darts, the best. Yeah. And it's like experiencing what the other side of the world sort of does. It was really eye opening for me, and that's another little tip for any young person there. If you get the opportunity to travel for free or do something you love, go on.
Yeah.
Go and do it because you can always come home.
Exactly. Go and do it. So, yeah, I guess this weekend we've got an exciting tournament which happens every year, the Kokomo Nines Rugby League Carnival. How involved were you with them? Because I know I've spoken to Tom a few times here and there, and he's told me about the reason as to why they started it, a couple of years ago now. Were you part of the Kokomos back then, and what was that like for you, coming through?
Yes, and we played our first sort of official game, 2012. So our coach of mine, Jason Gainey, he grew up in that Logan area, knew like Uncle Tom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who started it all. So he got me involved. I was obviously proud to do it, and then I rang everyone. Like we had a pretty good side. Like we're pretty handy side. Pretty much all Q Cup players, and I felt sorry for Fiji that day. We beat them 70-0. And they called the game off like 20 minutes to go. But we were red hot that sort of day. And I think even putting on that PNG jersey meant a lot more to me, because at that stage in my career, I realised what playing for the Kumuls actually meant. Like really, because when you're doing something, I didn't really live in the moment. It was just like something that you sort of did.
Yeah.
I mean, you did have little bits and pieces where you took it where you took it for the thing. But when I first played for Queensland PNG, and then the years, the years that went on after that, I've always been a massive supporter, playing in the nines.
Yeah.
Played in a couple of Cupic tournaments, and whenever me and Stevie, whenever they needed anyone to play, I'd always play, and I'd be straight on the phone, like ringing up a crew to come and play for their people, just to kick it off. And then now it's, man, like the junior systems that we have there now is like the team that they have now have all come through there. Like, like your Cruz 10, your Bruce 10, like players of that sort of stature have all come through that development of 14s, 16s, 18s.
Even someone like Liam Horn
Yep. Yeah.
He's a big part of that.
He's come through that system as well. Like, like the Kumuls jersey or playing for representing your people isn't just for PNG people that live up at home. If you got that blood, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel a bit different about it, man. Like, if you got that blood, you just built different. Like in whatever thing you do, whether you're sport, business, you just, I don't know, like, you don't have to grow up hard to know how hard you are, like how determined you are. I think that's like an inbuilt power that our people have. Like, we're determined, we're willing to do whatever it takes, and that's why I give back. I enjoy coaching and watching the boys grow and stuff like that. Like, I've known them since they were 14 years old, and they always get a kick out of it now. They always try and get me to play Q because they want to play footy with me. I said, man.
Oh, yeah, and so that's because I follow you on the socials and see that you're coaching a couple different teams, even rugby union as well.
Oh no, they play league at Iona.
They got league there.
I just stumbled onto that, and my son goes to school. Just got started and get involved with the rugby league. They're just for the sports term. It's not like the elite programs where they go the whole year. It's for the sports term. So I just enjoy giving back. If if I can give any tips or anything like that, and just help someone, it always gives me a buzz to see someone improve or just see someone enjoy what they're doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing, and I mean, it's one of the reasons why we started this podcast, is just to mainly share some of the good stories about our country, Papua New Guinea, but also to give something to the younger generation that's coming through, because out there's probably a young Trevor Exton that wants to put the Kumul jersey on, and hopefully they can put this on, watch this, and it'll give them some confidence or give them some lessons on where they can go or where they can find themselves, whether it's in training or how you put together those Q Cup games. And I guess that first word, your enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. That's the main thing. That's the main thing that gets you out of bed, bud.
Yeah, that's it. Look, before we finish off, just wanted to say a big thank you from the uncles for hopping on, and hopefully we'll see you put on the boots this weekend, eh?
Yeah, maybe, but I'll just be shadow. So emergency break glass.
Yeah. Thanks, Trevor. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you on the weekend.
Thank you.
Cheers.